Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Public Safety Commission meeting for the Fire Department on May 16th, 2022. I call the meeting to order at 6:32. First order of business is just attendance. Darnell Ford, Chair of the Commission.
Go ahead, Phil.
This Councilman Pacina.
Councilwoman Carta.
And not in attendance is Councilwoman Linda Salafia and Councilman Anthony Amangiafico. Okay, great. All right, next order is to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. We did not have a meeting in April, so this would be approving the minutes for March 21st, 2022. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Pacina.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Matter passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is public hearing for matters on the agenda only. If anyone from the public who wishes to speak at this time, use the hand raise function on the WebEx, or you can, on your mobile device or landline, you can press *3 to activate the hand raise function. We will acknowledge you. Please say your name and your place of residence and try to keep your comments to under 5 minutes if possible. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Okay, I do not see anyone in the queue with their hand raised wishing to speak at this time, so I'll close the public hearing at this time, and Chief Warren will move on to correspondence, which there is none, and monthly reports. The floor is yours.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit more material because of 2 months. So I'll try to move it along. We had 310 calls for the previous month. That was up 32. Major fires, we responded to the Old Road fire in Westfield with 2 engines and 4 chiefs. Sand Hill Road in Portland was an auto body repair shop, 2 engines, 3 chiefs. We had our own fire on Portland Street. The Freeman Road fire the other evening, we sent 2 engines and 4 chiefs. And then we did 12 hours of coverage at South District with 1 engine company when they had the brush fire out on Aircraft Road area. Some of our events for the past 2 months, we had through Park and Rec, we had the Easter Bunny at both fire stations for an hour each. Was well attended by the public. We had the Kids Safety Fair this past Saturday on Main Street. Our fire marshal's office, our safety trailer, and our rescue truck. We attended PD's PAL event with our rescue, and multiple times we filled the dunk tank trying to take the water from cappuccino to lime color to eventually something like a IPA maybe. And the brave souls, they still went into the dunk tank. So this past Sunday, had the opportunity to attend St. Sebastian's, the Mass, and the procession, and then the festival. We also had our rescue truck there for the Toucher truck. I've attended since the last meeting, 2 of the opioid task force meetings for the city. And we also met with myself and the health department met with Reverend Anderson to talk about the opioid crisis in the city. And she's looking, they have liaisons to help people with dependency. So she was looking for ways for us to, if there's a way for us to get the information to the patient or get information to her group that a patient was being transported so that they could send a liaison. So we had a meeting on that. I attended the police department swearing in where they did the lateral transfers. We had a swearing in of 10. Finally got around with everybody's uniforms, finally came in. Deputy Chief Albert, Assistant Chief Eamon, our 2 battalion chiefs, 4 lieutenants, and 2 firefighters. We attended a Special Olympics event at Jersey Mike's. We sent our full shift, our fire marshals and myself. Attended the meeting of Governor Lamont at City Hall. I've been appointed to the police firing range committee, so I attended my first meeting. And we attended the going away events for Joe Samoas. As far as training, our dive team, very appropriately, they did 2 pool sessions during the month. And next week, they'll be down at Miller's Pond in Durham. We do a couple sessions each year at Miller's Pond. Unfortunately, it's a state park with a very deep and dangerous ledge configuration. Each summer, unfortunately, each summer there's at least one drowning there. So we do familiarization with the dive team. Our technical rescue team is doing their annual trench refresher in the next week. And then regular shift training was EMS, rope refresher, and then trench preparation. And then Deputy Chief Albert completed his NIMS 300, 400 command management classes, which were part of his contractual obligations. Our alarms division sent me a little bit of briefing on some of the things they're doing. I'll highlight some of it. All the street boxes have now been decommissioned in the Central and South Fire District area. And Westfield is just about done. Public Works has been removing the poles and filling in the holes with topsoil. We send out annual fees for payment on city boxes. And this year we're down to only 10 people owing us, which is quite a low number. It's usually multiple delinquents. We were able to secure 4 years of back payment from the Army facility on Smith Street, which added $1,000 back into the coffers. So that's good news. They're working with 180 Johnson Street on the fire alarm contractor, upgrade the fire alarm system, and a sprinkler contractor to diagnose sprinkler malfunction problems. They upgraded all the fire alarms and master box at the Mount Higbee water treatment plant. They were able to take one of the antennas that was on a street box system and replace the master box antenna at fire headquarters. Our tower ladder crew was able to get them up there to do that. And that saved us $4,000. Let's see. I think that's it from the alarms division. Old business, the ambulance response issue. Middlesex Hospital has petitioned the state OEMS for 10 ambulances to put into service as transport. And I know the mayor's office, Chamber of Commerce, 3 city fire chiefs, and the other agencies wrote letters of recommendation for that. I know Middlesex now has 5 of the 10 ambulances. So once they get the approval by OEMS, that's going to be a huge improvement to our ambulance resources. Middletown Press did an article on this and completely butchered the article. They had Middletown Fire responding to 800 medicals in 1 month. The city had 800 medicals. Citywide for a month, there were 800 medical emergencies. The person who wrote the article had us going to 800 of them. So I put a correction to the article and also spoke to Sandra Day from the newspaper.
Okay.
So that's in progress. They probably won't have approval on that till the end of the year. OEMS works pretty slowly, but it is in progress. As you know, I did an overtime fund balance transfer for overtime, multiple line items. The budget was approved, as you all know. Was quite an experience preparing the budget the first time, but thank goodness for Lori. was a great help, and Chief Kronberger. The Quint fire apparatus, we're almost ready with the specification. We're meeting with the vendor tomorrow. I met with the ARPA committee. We put in a request for funding for the Quint with the ARPA committee. So it was supposed to be a couple weeks before we would hear on that. We did allocate some funds from my fund balance to CNR as part of the funding for the Quint if we don't get ARPA funding. And then the good news is our decommissioned Schmiel tower ladder, the company we're building the new one with is Schmiel. They're going to take that truck as a trade-in. So they'll put all the repairs into it and sell it as a a unit to somebody. But the truck is 26 years old, so it wasn't worth us putting that kind of money into it. But they are going to take it as a trade, and they're also going to take the spare engine that will get replaced. That's going to go in a trade also. So that trade-in value will go against the purchase price of the apparatus.
Chief, we don't have an idea of, possible the amount of the.
They're going to look,
potential-
actually, they're coming tomorrow, so they're going to look at the tower ladder. So I should have something tomorrow to let you know
Okay.
what ballpark they're thinking on that.
All right.
We also, out of CNR and my fund balance into the CNR in this budget, we put the funding in for the electric pickup trucks. So actually, I'm going to be working with Joe Samolis on that. He's got a representative with Columbia Ford who has a way to navigate getting those trucks without a long wait. So we'll see how that goes, because everybody wants electric pickup trucks. Our protective clothing, the 59 cents of protective clothing everyone's been measured. It's been ordered. Should be in about 3 to 4 weeks. The anti-violence gear that we put a request in for. I checked with Bobby. I sent Bobby an email today to see if we had put in for a grant on that, and I had not heard back yet if we got any money for that gear. Our new apparatus bay doors were also funded in the CNR, so I've got the company coming in to look at those to make sure how we're going to go about that project. Our promotional testing is all set with HR for the fall. That will be our battalion chiefs, lieutenants, and fire marshal's office. And then our entry level testing, we're finishing up our presentation, and we're going to wait right till after Labor Day, and then we're going to roll out the presentations to 6 or 7 locales before we advertise the test. And the Middletown Press is doing an article on diversity. They met with Faith late last week, and then the reporter came in and interviewed me for an hour, and then called me again today and ran by what the article is going to be, and it sounds good. There were no mistakes in it. So it addresses the diversity issue for hiring in the city, but he also came in to get the fire department's take on what we're doing with this recruitment drive and where our diversity numbers are and where they were, where they are, where we're hoping to go. So that article, he said, should be out probably next week. Our new software, the Red NMX, is ready to go live. We have everything in place, so we're hoping by the end of this week we'll be changing over from our old software system to our new software system. That was a project Deputy Chief Albert has been overseeing, along with Chris from IT. They did a tremendous job changing this over. It was a big project, so it's been going very smoothly. Under new business, the fireworks, we're in the middle of the fireworks planning. As we've done in years past, the fire department will be in the unified command. Myself and Deputy Chief Albert, Battalion Chief France will be running our marine operations. We'll have our Assistant Chief Safety Officer, our suppression division, and then with Battalion Chief Clark's dive team will be manned at the Wesleyan Boathouse. Nothing different than what we've done in the past, just new people in different positions running at this time. Our 3 firefighters are going to graduate from recruit school on the 25th of May. So about 10 days. They're going to have 2 days, the Thursday, Friday. They'll be on days, and then they'll be assigned to their shifts. That will have us at full staffing, basically other than my military deployment. So I'm still down one with firefighter deployed to Poland. And some very interesting things happened the night of the Freeman Road fire. As I was responding, I have one of the two new Tahoes, Chevy Tahoes, our department purchased. My car broke 4 lifters in the motor. It was towed to the Chevrolet dealer. The Chevy has an 18-month batch of bad lifters and motors, and they were supposed to have fixed these before these vehicles were delivered. So this car is now at Key Chevrolet for 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to have all the lifters replaced. And the unfortunate thing is our shift commander's vehicle is a twin, delivered at the same time. So there's an 18-month block in there. So we're seeing if we can proactively, once we get mine back, if we can send that one in and just have them fix it before. It's unbelievable. The vehicle's got 6,000 miles on it, and the
Wow.
lifters broke. Yeah. So yeah. So that's being worked on. City Yard is coordinating that through Key Chevrolet.
Is there
And then
any,
the last, oh, go ahead.
Chief, real quick, is there any cost to that?
No,
Is
it's all warranty. Yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely. Yeah, so
Okay.
they're going to replace all 8 lifters, and they're not going to just do the ones that were damaged. But fortunate that it didn't do any engine damage. Just
Right.
I went about 2 houses down from my house, and it sounded like somebody was in my motor with a ball-peen hammer. So I quickly backed to someone's driveway, came back to my house, and that's as far as we went.
Wow.
And then I
Wow.
piled my gear in my wife's car and drove that to the fire out in South District. So at 2 o'clock in the
Sure,
morning.
she was happy about that.
Yeah, but she wasn't, but my dogs were pretty excited about it. Right. And then the last issue. So at the questions of directors last month, Councilman McKeon asked me about our mutual aid overtime budget and some of the options that we had discussed. One of them I said would probably upset some people, and I said when I mentioned that that one of the options would be the city having one fire department. So
Yeah.
the other 2 departments in the city obviously weren't happy with that comment, and big shock there. But a couple of disturbing things happened. A couple days after that meeting, a civilian member of the public who's tied to the Westfield department stopped at our fire headquarters and was kind of harassing our on-duty personnel, and then
Gotta be kidding.
then gave a story about one of our chiefs with some impropriety responding to a fire call. So I filed reports with the proper city departments. I spoke to the mayor's office and HR, filed everything with them, and so it's on record. But it's unfortunate that that happened. And then subsequent to that, Westfield's chief reached out to one of my lieutenants, not me, and informed them that they were going to remove our engines from their structural fire responses. So I've yet to hear, I've yet to be told by their commissioner or the fire chief that that's happening. But what doesn't make sense is back in October, they requested a meeting with me and asked us to add the second engine and our chiefs to their structure fire assignments. And so I don't know if it's just they're venting but I'll keep you updated on that. And then, I spoke with Chief Drasky. I had told him, I said, the comment, I was asked a question as a city director. I was asked a budget question by a council person. I gave an honest answer. And
Yeah, you did.
and but they've been talking about for a while too, the possibility of taking. So we send 2 engines there on structural fire, and they're kicking around going back to 1. from 2. And so here in the city, when we have a fire, we end up with four pumpers, 2 ladder trucks, and all the sort of chiefs. So if they remove one out there, it's going to take it back to 3 engines and one ladder truck. So that, again, that's not in stone yet. We've been talking back and forth on that, but you know, my job is to make sure we operate safely. So I'll have conversations with those chiefs, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But one thing we'll ensure here is that we want to send the proper resources to make sure everybody operates safely. I know Clinton Avenue fire, where Lieutenant Mayo got burned, should be a wake up to, you know, we need the proper resources to operate safely. So, but you know, like I told the council, like I told the other 2 departments, you know, I own the statement that I made, but again, I have to justify my budget and justify our expenditures, so which are costly, you know, but that's the cost of doing business. So that's all I have on new business. But,
Yep. Councilman Pacino?
Chief, those 2 comments kind of, you know, upset me that, with you told the truth.
Right.
Reality, I've been around long enough. I went through the circus years ago, and you know, South District does an outstanding job. I'm a current commissioner there.
Absolutely.
You know, Westfield, great department.
Right.
They rely more on volunteers. But my question is, the individual from South District, was he just a citizen?
No, it was Westfield. It wasn't South District.
No, the one that walked into the firehouse.
That was a Westfield.
Oh, it was a
Westfield
Westfield.
resident. Yeah.
Okay. What about the individual from us? Was that call from South District or Westfield?
It was all Westfield. It was a
Okay.
Westfield. It was a Westfield resident. It wasn't anything with
Okay.
South District.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel good because,
Yeah.
you know, Chief Tarasky's pretty proactive, and
Yeah, absolutely.
he's looking to the future. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something, if the city desires to do that, because you got 2 taxing districts here
Mhm.
on either side of yours.
Right.
Okay, so that would need to be changed. In my humble knowledge, because I may not be right on target here, but our departments, that's Westfield and South District,
Yep.
were established by the legislature
Right.
and a vote of the district. So that would be an additional hurdle. But you know, I sit next to Ed on the council, and I know what he was asking.
Right.
But you had to. You're an ethical person, okay? As far as I know, as many years that I've known you, as well as, you know, the other 2 chiefs that I've met over my years.
Right.
Told the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. But
Well,
we
no, you know,
need
so
to move from there. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to tell you, Chief. You laid the gauntlet down.
Yeah.
So now a conversation, it makes me happy personally, as a council person, to see the 3 chiefs talking. There was an era when there was no talking.
right.
So things start, and it takes time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you always being forthwith with all your comments. So I just feel bad that
Yeah.
that had to happen because it's unnecessary.
Right. That's okay. So
You're a big boy.
that's yeah.
That's the report.
Yeah. That's what all I have for the report.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Chief, I do have one quick question. Can we just go back to where you mentioned the anti-violent gear?
Yes.
Did we? Could you just describe again what that was? Because I'm not
So we're-
recalling.
So you know, so we call it anti-violence. You know, we don't, but we don't have any. So we provide the EMS services to PD. So if PD were to go out and active violence call, we're
Right.
going to be responding to that also with EMS coverage. So we've been they started a citywide task force, but we've been working on this for probably 18 months before that. And we had conversations with the previous police chief and the SWAT teams and leaders. And so we're looking to get some body armor and,
Okay.
and some medical equipment that to work alongside with PD that so basically today, if they had an event like that and either civilians or PD were injured, we'd have to wait till they got brought out of the building or brought to like a forward collection point. So we're looking to get some the proper medical gear for that type of event, some transport devices to quickly drag people or get them out of buildings, and then some body armor. And the thought process was obviously they would get us to a safe point where we could do some quick medical intervention, get the people out to a forward collection point, do some more medical intervention, and then get them to a transport triage treatment area. So we had put a grant in for a grant for $100,000 worth of equipment. And I know Bobby Peterson serves on that committee. So I had reached out to her today to just see if there was an update on it, if they had made a decision on any of that equipment yet.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for refreshing my memory. I remember. the
Yeah,
conversation.
it's been going on for a while. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda, since there's nothing for telecommunications committee,
they did have a meeting.
they did.
Yes, they did. And the siting council actually turned down the tower, the second tower on Mile Lane.
Yep.
And it can be petitioned. And Wayne wasn't quite sure if the telecom company there was going to petition to have it heard again, but it was turned down.
Okay.
I believe that was AT&T, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so they were given the decision by the siting council, and they can appeal it, but as of the meeting, Wayne was not aware if they were going to appeal or not. And I believe that was it from one dispatcher left, so I think they're down to 18 again. I think that was all that came out of the meeting.
Yeah, that is correct. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the reopen the public hearing portion on matters other than what's on the agenda. Again, I ask if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak at this time, use the hand raise function on the WebEx, or use *3 on your mobile device or landline to raise your hand. You'll be acknowledged. Please state your name and your residence, and try to keep your comments to under 5 minutes, if possible. Seeing and hearing no one from the public at this time, I will close the public hearing portion, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, matter passes unanimously. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Chief Warren, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and stay safe out there.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome. Thank you.